What is up, guys? It's the NJB here, and today I'm going to do my favorite top 10 Ben 10 aliens. So today I'm not going to make a video saying like which ones are the best. I'm just going to say which ones that I particularly like. I like whenever he changes into them, and I just like to see on screen. So also today is my birthday, so I'm doing this for my birthday upload. So I just wanted to just kind of make a video like that. I don't know why, just felt like it. But yeah, and as years go and I can see I'm just getting older and older. But that aside, I'm just going to go in and tell you guys my favorite top 10 Ben 10 aliens. And yeah, this isn't particularly in any order. It was just like whichever aliens that I could think of at the time when I was looking them up and ones I preferred. So as I said before, these are my opinions. I'm saying my favorites. I'm not saying who's the best. I'm not saying who's overpowered. It's just my opinions. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So the first alien on the list is Heat Blast. So this is mainly because he is the first Ben 10 alien that I saw, and I'm pretty sure everyone else saw too. So I still remember back in, I believe it was 2005, when we were seeing commercials of Ben 10 before it actually came out, and I was excited for it. It looks cool. It's this guy who can just change into different aliens without a watch. And back then, we hadn't had a superhero show like that. And it's really just cool that we were able to see like a character just being able to change from different hero to hero. So Heat Blast was the first one we saw. He looks absolutely awesome. He has awesome powers. He can shoot fire, he can absorb fire, and he has a cool voice with him. And yeah, he's just a really cool character. Every time I see him, it reminds me of just back in 2005 when I was really young. And we can see Ben 10, and it was just a cool introduction seeing that cool alien. So that's why Heat Blast is one of my top 10 favorite aliens. And moving on to the next alien, Upgrade. So Upgrade is another one of the original Ben 10 aliens, and he is really awesome. So one awesome thing about him is that he can shoot an energy beam from his eye. So that was really cool. I thought it was just cool because he has other abilities too, but that's the first, like in the episode when they were going against I think they're called megawatts. Don't quote me on that, but I think they were called megawatts back then. But I'm not sure. But he was going against them and he just got really mad and just shot a big blast at them. That was cool. But other than that, his abilities are that he can attach himself to any electronic and he can just upgrade it. Like he can change it into anything he wants or almost anything. He can just make it much better. I mean, he's went on I believe he's went on a helicopter before and he's made it better. He's went on a train car and he's made it better. He's just went on lots of stuff. He's even went on Generator Rex, and that was a pretty cool combination and team up for them in that crossover. So Upgrade's awesome. He looks awesome. He has awesome abilities, and he's just one of my favorite aliens. It kind of just shows that Ben has a pretty diverse list of like abilities he can use whenever he transforms into aliens, and that's one thing I liked about him. So the next alien is Big Chill. So Big Chill is undoubtedly my favorite alien from the Alien Force Ultimate Alien kind of series of Ben 10. So he is my favorite alien from like the first 10 that Ben 10 got after the Omnitrix recalibrated. And mainly this is just because he looks awesome, he has cool powers. I mean, I like how his wings can just go around him and be kind of like a cloak and like a hoodie at the same time. So that's really cool just looking at him. Also, like his whole body looks awesome. And honestly, like for superhero shows, I mean, let's face it, a lot of people's favorite characters are pretty much superheroes and characters that look cool. I mean, Big Chill is like no stranger to that. He looks awesome. He has cool powers. He can freeze stuff just by touching it, by blowing on it, by going through it, which he can be intangible and invisible. So that's really awesome. Also, he can fly. And one thing that I don't know if everyone noticed, but I believe he can actually fly without just flapping his wings, because I've seen him change into Big Chill and he just starts levitating upwards before his wings even expand. So, and I believe he's flown like while his wings are like a cloak around his body. So he's a really cool alien, and I really like that he can just do a lot of things. He can also survive in really hot and really cold temperatures, and that's one thing that's really unique about him. So he's probably one of my favorite aliens overall, not because I think he's overpowered, but because he's just like a cool alien. So moving on to the next alien, and this one is Forearms. So Forearms is one of the original Ben 10 aliens, and my main reason for this is another, like, pretty much you're gonna see this in like all my reasons. He does look cool. Also, he's basically the brute from the original aliens. So Ben, all his aliens gave him a variety of different abilities. He had fire. He had like Diamond Head who can shoot diamonds. He had Accelerate, which gave him like super speed. But Forearms was the brute. He was the strong one. He was the one who could really take on anyone. That's basically why I liked him. I just really liked that he just had an alien like that, and I just like that they gave him 4 arms, 4 eyes. He had red skin. Just like that, they gave him abilities, but they just kind of made it look like an actual alien, and that's one thing I like about like Ben 10. Like they give him different abilities, but they keep reminding you that this is like an alien from another planet. So even though it's like to Ben's like superpowers, it's like another alien that he can really utilize like that, and that's one thing I really liked. Also, I just like scenes that they had him in, and yeah. He was just one of the original cool aliens that I liked from Ben 10, and he's definitely one of my favorite. I also did like how they brought him back in Ultimate Alien and in Omniverse. I got him in Omniverse. I don't know how everyone else feels about how he looks, but I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not gonna say he's my favorite version. My favorite version is still the original, but in Omniverse, I'm okay with how he looks. Alien Force, I mean, a lot of the aliens, they don't, like, they're all naked, but they gave him clothes in the original, so they couldn't make him, like, they couldn't make him naked again, so they gave him a Speedo. I don't know how I feel about that. The ponytail I'm okay with, but the Speedo, I don't know. But either way, he's still one of my favorite aliens, and yeah. The next alien on the list is Way Big. So Way Big, I don't know if I really have to go into detail why I like him, but basically, because he's way big, and he also has a variety of other powers. Like one, he can run at super speeds. We saw that when they were dealing with that trash monster. Also, he can fire energy beams with his arms, and when he puts his arms together, he can fire like a bigger one. Also, it's also how they introduced him. So, I like how in the end of Secret of the Omnitrix, which was an awesome Ben 10 movie, it's still one of my favorite like TV show or superhero movies. But I like how at the end they were surrounded by Vilgax. It seemed like there was no way out, and Asmus finally gives Ben Way Big. So it kind of shows you that Ben, his aliens are stepping it up a notch. The Omnitrix really contains like a big variety of aliens, and Asmus unlocked another one. So, and this was the first time we've seen like an alien that was really just super dominant. I mean, all the aliens before that, they were good, but they all had their weaknesses, and they could all be defeated by pretty much the majority of Ben's like foes, like if they really just knew how to deal with them. But for Way Big, I don't really think there was a real foe that Ben had in the original series that could really beat Way Big if Ben really wanted to stop them. Especially how he used Way Big to stop Kevin Levin in the future. I mean, I think Way Big is just an awesome character, or awesome alien, I mean. And I just like how they also used him in Ultimate Alien, and they showed that he can actually do more than just like, he's not just a big giant, he can actually fire beams and stuff. I mean, I think that was cool, and yeah. So the next alien is Cannonball. So personally, I do like Cannonball, but my reason for him being one of my favorite aliens isn't because I think like he's a really awesome alien, which I do think he's pretty useful, but it's mainly because he's the first alien that we got outside of the original 10 aliens. Because the show is called Ben 10, and a lot of people just expected him to stick with it. But honestly, seeing the same 10 aliens over and over again, I mean, it does get old, and we kind of we're kind of used to it. So when they brought in Cannonball, it was kind of like, it kind of just showed us that they're not going to limit it to 10, and the sky's the limit, because they're just going to keep adding more aliens. And yeah, so even though it doesn't keep up with the name Ben 10, it did show us that we're going to get more aliens and we don't know what to expect. Next time Ben snaps on his Omnitrix, he may get something we haven't seen before, and it's also, it keeps up with like the theme of the show. Like he's still getting used to the Omnitrix, and when he's like kind of used to like most of the aliens, he gets another one and has to learn like new stuff again. So I think it was cool that Cannonball was brought in. As an alien, he's pretty cool. I think the show did show that he's pretty useful, and his abilities are pretty nice. His shell's virtually impenetrable, so he can be useful on many different occasions. But either way, it's mainly just because like he's a pretty cool alien, and it just shows that we're going to be getting a lot more aliens than just 10, and it's good that they didn't limit it to that either. So yeah. So the next alien is a different one from the ones before, and it's not like a normal version of the aliens. This one is Ultimate Echo Echo. So Ultimate Echo Echo is probably hands down my favorite Ultimate version of any of the aliens they used. And just because this guy is OP. His sonic blasts are just unstoppable. And even when Kevin had all his powers and then some, and the powers of the 5 aliens he took before, he was still able to defeat Kevin, and he could have killed him if he wanted to. I guess it's a good thing he didn't, because even if you think Kevin should have been stopped, remember there are 5 other beings that are still alive in Kevin and are trapped in him, so it was good to keep that, to save them too. But I think this guy's awesome. I like how they show that even when Ben is, like, it seems like he's about to be defeated, he always has the upper hand. He always has some transformation that can still allow him to defeat any enemy. Even if it seems like he can't, he's basically unstoppable. So I did like in Ultimate Alien how they didn't abuse this too much like Omniverse did, but they did show that Ben is still all powerful. He can still defeat pretty much anyone. And Ultimate Echo, he is just an awesome alien. I did like how he used Sonic Doom, and yeah, it's one of my favorite aliens, and he would be one of my go-tos if I could use the Omnitrix. That would be cool. But anyway, moving on to the next alien. The next alien on my list is Alien X. So I don't really think I have to explain too much why he's one of my favorite aliens. But in short, he would have never made my list if we had just left it at how he was an Alien Force, an Ultimate Alien, because they didn't use him at all. They just showed us that he can do a lot of awesome stuff, or he only did one awesome thing. But then after that, they basically said he's all powerful, but he's practically useless. So in my opinion, I don't know why they leave him on the show if he's basically useless. It's kind of ridiculous to me. But either way, in Omniverse, we did manage to see Alien X at his full power, or not full power, but at least like a lot of what he can do. And he was awesome. He first remade the universe, second defeated the Galactic Gladiator, who was another Celestial Sapien, and that fight was pretty awesome, even though it was only like 2.5 minutes. And then we get to see him go against the Rooters, and that's when we see Ben actually just use aliens to fight like mere mortals, to be honest. That's when we get to see him fight just like regular people who, like, not necessarily regular people, but people with powers, people who aren't like godlike like Alien X, and that was cool. We just see he deflects a laser blast from one of them, I guess radiation blast. He puts all of them against each other, and he just moves them around, makes them fight each other, and he's about to just defeat all of them. I mean, that was awesome. Even though that fight didn't last too long, that was awesome, and it's really nice to see them actually utilize Ben 10 like being all powerful, having that alien. So that's why I like Alien X. It's an awesome alien, and every time he comes on, like now I'm excited for it, or I was when I was watching Omniverse. I wasn't excited about it in Ultimate Alien and Alien Force. But yeah. So the next alien I liked was Feedback, and honestly, I have to admit, I wasn't a huge fan of most of the aliens brought in Omniverse, and I can't really say that there are many of them that I'd actually care if they were like dropped from Ben 10 like altogether. But Feedback was a cool alien. At first, didn't really like him. He was kind of like that one we see in Omniverse like commercials, so I was like, the show looks kind of weird. I don't know if I'm going to get into it. The alien doesn't look too cool. But everything he can do, he held the whole universe in his hands. That could have been the Omnitrix just helping him, but either way, he still did it. It looked kind of awesome to me. Also, he can kind of fly. He did when he was going against malware. And he can absorb energy and redirect it. And he was just a cool alien to watch. Now, he is kind of one of those aliens that you can't really think of like what kind of species would have like power outlets on their body and stuff like that. And it really just seems like they wanted to give him like a superpower, but just made it look like an alien, so it's kind of like an excuse for him to be in the Omnitrix. I mean, that's kind of what I wasn't. That's one thing I just don't like about him, because most of the original aliens, you can kind of see like a whole like species of them, like Diamond Head, Heat Blast, like living on a lava planet, and they showed us some of those planets too. But with Feedback, that's my only gripe with him. But other than that, I do like him as an alien. I know that pet peeve I have with him is kind of like nitpicky, but hey, it's Ben 10 changing into aliens. Like, what do you expect from me? But I do like him. He is one of my favorite aliens, and yeah. And my last favorite alien from Ben 10 is Ghost Freak. So I did have some trouble picking the final alien I was going to pick. I really just had 9, I guess, but I wanted to make it 10. And I was, like, originally I did have Diamond Head in my other one, so he could be an honorable mention because he's awesome. But Ghost Freak is also awesome because, first of all, he has all the powers of a ghost. I mean, he can possess bodies, he can phase through objects, he can be intangible, he can fly, he can do a lot of stuff. He can also fire, I think it's like an energy blast that we saw, I guess Sister use. So I guess that wasn't necessarily Ben, but Ben still has that ability if he changes into Ghost Freak. So that's really awesome. But also, he is the first alien that Ben had to come to life and actually become one of his greatest villains in the end. So, like, I guess in the original series, he wasn't like a huge villain at the time. He was only really against him for like 1 or 2 episodes. But after that, in Omniverse, they brought him back. Oh, actually, first Alien Force, they brought him back. He took over Vilgax's home planet, and then he basically caused problems in Transylvania, where Ghost Freak's actually from, and they had to deal with him then. So he's a cool alien, and he's one of my favorite. So basically, that is going to be my list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think. Now remember, this list is my favorite aliens. So I'm not saying that they're the best. I'm not saying that they're the most powerful, even though some of them are. But these are basically the aliens that I like seeing in Ben 10, and I really just like have good memories of them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This has been the NJB. Tell me what you guys think in the comments and who your top 10 would be, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, mates.